These podcasts, for me, are some of the more difficult ones to do because I be wanting to grieve just to myself.
Right.
Like, you be wanting that to be sacred. Everything shouldn't be just for a public showing, right? And when you really grieving and going through it, you can't even pick up your phone because everybody is posting the picture or the video of the person that you love that you lost. For those of you just joining us, we're talking about Michael K. Williams, father, brother, actor, activist, dancer, poet.
Genius.
And that's just the thing, man. I'll tell a story that has nothing to do with nothing. And I'll try to make it come full circle somehow. Right? Actually, I'll turn this back on. It's not one of them type of stories. It's not that important. Actually, I will turn this on. My mom tells me a story about when I was really, really young, maybe second grade or some shit. And she was around my dad's mom down south, Sumter, South Carolina. She was around my grandma, rest in peace, to Grandma Jimmy, right? And I just got a really good report card. Smoked that shit. She went to my grandma, ranting and raving, just really ecstatic and excited that I had a really good report card. And she said my grandma got real down and almost this saddened look on her face, and my mom couldn't understand why. So she asked her. And my grandma, without trying to quote her, because I don't remember, said something to the effect of, he's pretty bright. All of my sons were really, 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 really bright. And they all excelled in school. And it got bad later. That sign of genius to my grandma, and not genius, but that sign of intelligence that early struck fear in her because of what she went through with my dad and my uncles. And I think later on, my mom grew to understand her point there. And as I continue to live life, I understand it as well. In me understanding it, like, it gives, you live with like this paranoia, this PTSD, this, like again, well, Ice, when you sent me the old Chris Brown project, X-Files, the EP, I was real worried about him. I was worried. I came on here and talked about it. Big Sean, when I start to hear certain things that he was saying, I got really worried about him, the person. I carry that with the musicians. Even Drake on the intro, again, yet another intro, he's saying, I'm hurt, I'm alone, I have despair, I'm dark inside. He's saying it. Mm-hmm. Artists say it all the time.
Just seen somebody say
and we miss it. Mm-hmm. So because of this, right, and where I'm going with this is Michael K. Williams was nothing short of genius. And I don't say that because he killed the Omar Little role and he killed the other. I don't say this because of that. I watched The Wire late.
Same.
I didn't watch The Wire when it was out. When did The Wire come out?
02.
02.
Yeah.
Yeah, 02. We looked that up.
Yeah, we deep dived on that one last week.
That was the first season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my introduction to Mike wasn't the same as the rest of the world because I missed all of this. But I heard y'all sing his praises, and when I finally caught up, I understood. But I still don't think I had met him when I watched The Wire. I hadn't met him yet. How did I meet Mike? How did I meet Mike? Back to the fucking Monopoly gods. How did I meet Mike? That's how I met Mike. Reverend Ron. Let me tell you how I learned that Michael K. Williams was a genius. Let's start there. And I'm just gonna talk. Y'all could jump in at any point. I'll probably need y'all to help carry me through this.
No doubt.
I probably need y'all, the fans, as well, to help carry me through this. This is around I was on all those pills. I was on a lot of pills. Dark time. Dark time, those pills. Like Altoid case full of pills. And when I say pills, I mean all of 30, 40, 50. I copped in bulk.
All different types, too.
All different types, all different times. And I needed those, I thought. When I finally got off, my body went through these withdrawals that I did, sweats, it's hard to go to sleep. It was tough, right? And I'm highlighting that this is before the fentanyl takeover. I'm highlighting that because, boy, do I thank God that I was able to do something about it before the fentanyl takeover.
For real.
Because today I can't imagine how dangerous and scary it is. And we just keep hearing it and seeing it. And if you're in this business, you probably keep seeing it happen to people that we're really, really, really fond of. I was fucked up in 2009, somewhere back there. And my mom was going to church. And she did what any mom would try to do. She said, come to church. And I ain't really want to come to church, but the pastor, New Jersey legend, Reverend Ron, rest in peace, he wasn't the typical pastor.
No, he not. Nowhere near. No.
Oh, yeah, y'all know Ron.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Ron wasn't your typical pastor. And as you heard on the intro, that was him. He kind of spoke for the message and not the messenger. He spoke to the church accepting all sinners. And when he spoke like that, he made me feel right at home. It wasn't the typical gospel, biblical. He was really talking. And he himself had been outside.
Issues, his own issues. Yeah.
And he would tell you.
He'll tell you in a heartbeat. Last time I saw him, somebody walked behind him. Like that he didn't really know. He's like, yo, bro. I don't really like other men walking behind me, dog. And they said, yo, I've been locked up too much. My state numbers, blah, 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 blah. So everybody started laughing. Dude walked him behind him again. He was like, yo, bruh, I'm serious. Like, I ain't playing. I don't really like when niggas walk behind me. Like, I'm institutionalized. When people walk behind you, you know, you've been in jail, you be getting tensed up. He's like, bruh, don't do that no more, please. This the preacher, dog. Yo, dog, don't walk behind me. Like, I don't know you. Don't walk. I ain't with that. So, yeah, he'll let you know what his path was or his walk of life was.
And because of that approach and because of that style, he attracted an audience unlike one I have ever seen in church. No. It was dudes in there that looked like me.
Yeah, it was people that I found out, like, in the hood that was going up there to the church.
Street
and I'm
niggas.
like,
no, I know street niggas that was giving them money.
Like,
about.
Yeah,
like,
and
yo,
I'm like,
you doing
like,
good.
yo, you gotta come with the Christian love. I'm like, wait, you go there too?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
sure
I
enough.
didn't even think you went to church, bro.
Sure enough.
And we laughed before when I talked about the other church, Hillsong, when everybody's cracking jokes. It's kind of like that. But in a white mixed version. Like, Reverend Ron shit was the hood.
The hood.
Like, the hood. Again, like, hustlers would be like, yo, I ain't coming in, Rev, but hold that. I like what you're doing. Like, yo, hold that. I like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So, again, we, in the black community, we doubters. Right? Like, we full of doubters. Like, when you start winning over the jokers, the downtrodden, or the niggas that's on the other side, that speaks volumes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, because we so untrusting, if that's a word.
That's a word.
That it takes a lot to get through to us. You know what I mean? Like, you got to really jump over barbed wire gates to get to us because our neighborhoods are so fucked up, and we look at everybody like, nigga, you up to something.
Right.
So when you could get to the hustlers, you could get to the street niggas, you could get to the niggas that's scamming themselves, you doing something. So rest in peace to him. He was kind of fly. He was a fly dude.
I went to that church. Well, no, my mom went to that church, and she fell in love with Ron. Not romantically, of course.
Right.
There's idiots out there, I know. She fell in love with him so much that she tried to spread that word to anybody with ears in New Jersey. Yo, church this Sunday? It was like the brunch. It's like the hospital, yo.
Yeah, like,
it really was, though.
Niggas was like, yo, 8, what session we at? 8?
Yeah.
9, we have 11:30. Like, it was one of those. And my mom is like a helper. Like, she can't help it. She can't help it. So she's sitting there listening to Reverend Ron every fucking Sunday. And I'm sitting there listening when I would show up. And I guess somehow it dawns on my mom, well, shit, if he's doing all this helping to people and I'm listening to him, well, who's helping him? Valid question.
Mm-hmm. Great question.
So, of course, they organize, and I see Michael K. Williams at the church. But that don't tell me nothing. Oh, shit. It's the wired dude.
Right.
Omar.
So
it's cool.
Yeah.
Super cool dude. Super cool dude. And he had this scar in his face. And I'm a fan of scars. I think that stories, age, experience come from this. Like, when somebody has a scar in their face, I'm glued. Like, I may be stared at pictures of Mano a long time just from a scar. Just imagining what that was like in jail or what you went through. Same with Michael K. Williams. He got the scar, so you fixated on it. But yeah, ask where it comes from. No shit like that. And you see this scar, and as you're looking at this scar, you're seeing like this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful black skin. Like, this man's skin was beautiful. You had to stare. I'm bringing it up because typically you look at people's eyes and their skin. Mm-hmm. When you see them, you kind of get it. They wait. Mm-hmm. No matter what struggles he may or may not have been going through, his skin always looked beautiful. Maybe his eyes was piercing, but his voice and his words and the things he said, so I just kept seeing Michael K. Williams at church, and then the reverend's going through things, and now some type of way through the grace of God, we have after meetings at church. We have after meetings at church now. And maybe I shouldn't even talk about the after meetings, because that's how private they was. But it was a select, chosen few of us that was dying. Yeah, we was fucked up. And we shared shit in there that we probably don't share nowhere, man. The reverend is talking. You just stood in the church. You just stood to church and heard the reverend save hundreds of people. And then you go in this office and lock the door after it closed. And niggas start getting their demons out. And Ron did it. And I did it. And Mike did it. My mom did it. There's maybe 7 other people there. And then that's what was happening. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit. This guy goes through. He's going through. Oh shit. Oh no, we understand each other on a deeper level. This ain't just he acting, and this guy's going through some shit. I fell in love because you relate to struggle. Like, if your struggle can identify with somebody else's struggle, and you see how they're coping with it, and you see how they bodying shit out here. This guy, he was killing shit, but he was in pain. And I seem to have this ability to be able to spot that guy in a fucking crowd. It's heavy. I fell in love with Mike in the meetings, man. And I watched him closely from there. And it wasn't no wire, I'm a nigga still, so at some point you say, I wonder how niggas is getting money. You know what I mean? You bump into Mike in the church one morning, hey Mike, what's going on? Yo, I'm heading over to Egypt or wherever the fuck he was going. Mm-hmm. He's traveling.
He was active.
No, he was doing mad shit.
He said, I'm going over there, third world country, niggas, fuck that, they need us, blah, blah, blah. They're suffering, and the story needs to be told, and nobody's doing it. It's kind of like what Anthony Bourdain was doing, but I just want to travel. There's nobody. We have to get to these people. Like, he was passionate about traveling out the country for weeks at a time. He's saying that to somebody that hates touring. I was blown away by that. It never left me. When I left him, I said, that's interesting to know. Interesting to know that he's that passionate about, all right, cool. I ain't paying no mind.
Right.
Then he was doing some shit with Vice. And the first thing he did was go to the chop shops in Newark. And he was telling me about it. And I said, Mike, you taking these cameras to the chop shops in Newark to do like this underground, like you doing some underground tape and shit? In my head only, I'm saying, how does he even know the people to maneuver in Newark underground chop shop land? You gotta, it might pop off.
From the hood.
You need your, I'm telling you, I learned. I had to learn.
He from the hood.
I had to learn. See, I'm calling him a genius because it was so many different areas where I learned, oh, he been around. He's picked it up from places I didn't know. So he's telling me, yo, I'm running around these places. It turned up in one of these spots. Nigga put the hammer out. And my man over here. And I'm listening and I'm saying, oh, so you did that too? You been out? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'll put it to the side. I'll put it to the side. I'll put it to the side. I'm going to keep coming to church. I go to church. Eric Garner. Bad. That was bad. Church more packed than it's ever been. And Rev Ron got up there and said, I'm going to invite somebody up here to speak. And he gave a beautiful introduction, and it was Michael K. Williams, who's a member of this church. So, but in my head, I'm saying, I don't like that. Don't bring the celebrity to the pulpit to talk because he's a celebrity. That's disgusting. Stupid me.
Didn't realize the real reason why he.
What a foolish mistake. Boy, did he go up there and talk from the soul. Mike, not pastor.
That's
Mike.
Not surprised at all.
He went up there and just spoke to hardship and struggle and pain and despair and desperation but being sad and getting through it and light at the tunnel. And it gave a beautiful, beautiful, Eric Garner's sister was there, his family was there, and Mike bodied this speech at a church, the most packed church I've ever been to after like a national high. If you remember when Eric Garner passed up here.
Yeah.
It was like, you remember.
No, shit was different.
And he did it. I couldn't have done it. I was too busy crying. And he left the stage and I said, okay, he killed that.
It's another side
This
of
is
him
different.
that you didn't expect.
This is something else. And then when I thought maybe it was only The Wire that he was great in, that he just kept popping up in every movie I loved.
Nah, the other
Y'all gonna talk about all the big roles, and I'm gonna say every B and C movie I put on that he was in, he smoked. He ate food. He ate on Law and Order.
Yeah. Now I think we've talked on this podcast about how TV kind of overtook film as like the leading visual medium in the past 10, 15 years. It wasn't that before. It was movies and TV was kind of some bullshit.
It was movies. But with the emergence of Netflix and all those other people,
but HBO as well.
No,
You're becoming digital, especially.
We just said that.
He was there for a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Boardwalk Empire. He was a
Empire,
monster in that
Wire.
show. That shit had a good 6
Lovecraft
seasons.
is new. The Ava DuVernay documentary.
Like, yo, he got busy.
He seemed to just pop up in all of them.
Nah.
And he always was dressed great. I know that means nothing. But for me, I pay attention to stuff like this. It means something to me.
I mean, something to him, probably. You can't get away from the fact that you super duper duper dark skin, right? So it's a stigma on that in society. Then you have a scar literally coming down your whole face. So you're going to get prejudged as a nigga of the worst kind, probably, right? So now I'm going to stay fly, I'm going to stay sharp. Because then that'll dispel some of the myth or some of the prejudice that I may get. You get what I'm saying? So again, for us, it ain't nothing. But for him, that might have been one of his things. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, on a different level. Like, yo, I'm a super duper dark skinned nigga and I got a scar on my face. And
I'm from the hood.
And they don't know that I could quote Shakespeare. Like, fam, he was in some Shakespearean shit. Like, they don't know I could quote Shakespeare. So I'm going to stay super duper fly. I'm going to stay wearing the European shit so you stupid motherfuckers don't have to prejudge me. I can't be out here with the black hoodie on or I might get Trayvon.
I'm going to tell you, I've only met dude once, and that was when you moved into your current place. That same day he had came over there. That was the first thing I said to myself. I'm like, damn, this dude's dressed fly.
Looking and smelling great.
I thought this because I knew his background, so I'm like, this is a hood nigga.
Yeah.
Exact opposite when he walked in the crib. I was like,
would tell you the cologne and where he got the clothes from.
No,
he would tell you. Yeah, man, go over here. Even when I was looking for a place,
I remember he was telling me about yo, you need to come over here to Brooklyn. Over here, this is where it's at.
He said,
right here, this street here.
Yo, you come here.
Come right here.
I'm like, Mike, can I come to Brooklyn? Can I move to Brooklyn? Yeah.
And they got some shit.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
This build, I was sitting. He would tell them the building. Yo, no, you got to come right here. This area. This
I'm
is
shocked that that's the first time you met him. Like, as someone who moved to New York later in life, 2007, I think I moved here. And I probably didn't watch The Wire till 2007, 2008. But then when I started being on the scene, playing little shows at dive bars across New York, it would be, oh shit, there's Weebay. Oh shit, there's Matt. Or I forgot what Mac's character was. Oh shit, Michael. That's fucking Omar.
Yeah.
Like, you would see him out.
I'd be out.
Well, that's the other part. If you just happen to be taking a stroll shopping, you bump into Mike.
Nah, he used to get his hair cut with me, so
the barbershop, the club.
I chopped up one punch.
Like he was out. He was out. So you started to wonder, like, damn, how could? And I love the outpouring of love that. I mean, I didn't like it on the day that I learned he passed, because boy, that was painful to watch all of these pictures. It's painful and it's a joy though, because I feel joy in knowing that y'all were just as touched by this person as I was. Like his whole life was just spent in service of. And boy, is it eerie to me that he did the fucking DMX tribute and smoked it.
Yeah.
He smoked it. Because before he smoked it, he kind of gave me X vibes a little bit.
Fam, you know what's eerie? This the third person we talked about, or third thing we've talked about, and then shortly thereafter they passed away. And people and the fans is like, yo, y'all just talked about The Wire in depth last week.
Well, in our defense, we talk about greatness a lot.
We do. No. I'm just saying we do. So that, you know what I mean? Like that shit.
We celebrate greatness here. So,
like, yo.
Now, what was eerie to me, and I mean, I don't want to say eerie, because I think we all, when there's a big loss like this, a lot of people tend to look at their own mortality. That post that he put up.
About Kobe?
Yeah. That one, like.
Oh, I ain't see it.
Which post, for the people that may not have seen it?
There was a post when Kobe had passed. He had put up a post saying about once we lost Kobe is when he looked at his mortality, realized how precious life is. He's like, yo, just take in a sunset, and you'll see how that last 30 seconds, how fast it goes. And that might be your last sunset. Like, it was just so much in there.
I've been thinking about my own mortality lately. I don't know if it's the recent death of my first love and first heartbreak, or watching my hero, my rock, my mom get older every day, knowing that at 93, her time won't be as long as it's been, maybe all of the above. It all has me wondering, how will I go? Will I die alone? How will I be remembered, and what will be my legacy? I may not have known every nook and cranny of Kobe's career, but the two things I did learn from watching him is that we are not what we do for a living, and that focus, hard work, and dedication are the seeds of success. Most importantly, his untimely passing has reminded me of how fragile life is. I believe I read somewhere in a Chinese proverb, whenever you have the chance to watch the sunset, take it. It might be your last. I do this because it reminds me how fast time goes. If you don't believe me, just watch the last 60 seconds of one. I'm tired of wasting time worrying about what people think of me, self-doubt, and fear. I'd rather trade all that in for purpose-driven life. Because from where I sat in the bleachers, that's exactly what it looked like he had. Kobe.
Yeah, that's dope.
And his last post, period.
Yeah, Tracy
Morgan. I understand why people say that that's eerie. But I think those thoughts are common for people that come from that path. Like, it's dark. It's dark. You think about that a lot. Anytime I ever try to have the conversation, people stop me. But I often wonder what people's thoughts are when they in their last moments. It's important because how you live is how you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was eerie. But listen, back to Mike. Back to the genius of Mike. I fuck around one day, happened to just go to the Robert Tree Hotel in Newark. They was doing a fashion show. If you was from Jersey City, you know when they do the fashion show in Newark, you got to slide through, throw something on. Slid through something on. There's a few of them in there. I sat down, had a little pineapple juice, was doing my fucking thug thizzle in there, huh? And who comes strolling out the catwalk? You fucking guessed it, Michael K. Williams. Wait a minute, man. You in a fashion show? Why here? Wait, you walking? You walking like that? Well, you got that shit on? It was like, oh shit, you great here too. And then you bump into him maybe at a party when some shit is on. And you just see.
He was a dancer, right? He used to get busy.
Dancer, choreographer.
Dancer.
You could tell. Somebody, a young lady, you know a young lady. Young lady, one time I was in Melody, I was trying to learn. I didn't know how to dance. She was a dancer. I think she did the By Law video too. She did do the By Law video. And she was trying to teach me how to dance. And I said, listen, I have no rhythm. I have 2 left feet. This ain't gonna work. And she said to me, the key to dancing, Joe, is to not think. All you gotta do is let your body free flow and feel and use no brain power, and I promise you could dance. That never left me, because I can never do it. But then when I watch Mike dance, and when I watch all of y'all post these videos of Mike dancing, and when I kind of know about some of the struggles in the darkness, I understand the smile, and I understand this movement, and I understand the freedom, and I understand the interviews where he's saying, yo, don't ask me how I prepared for this role. You wouldn't get it. That's none of your business. A lot in my career, I was blown away at how I could get in a booth and share some of my darkest shit with the universe. But no, you niggas better not talk to me about it in person. Like, that always kind of bothered me a little bit. Like, how can I, that's weird. Like, how can I do that? But watching Mike dance, look at this man dance. It's just back to, what does music do for you? What does culture or the elements of it do for you?